So students, today we are going to learn two topics. One is online transaction and the second topic is maintaining safety rules in workplace. So let us start, student. Let us take the first topic and see the presentation for the first topic. So online transaction. So we'll go for online transaction and we'll understand what online transactions mean. Students, nowadays we buy things through internet. What we do is we place an order using a given website, and the order that we place can be used by the website and the goods are delivered back to us by a courier boy. Now, this is a very good method as it has a lot of advantages. So let us go and see this topic, online transactions. This is the topic within Web Application Basics of your course curriculum of class 10th. So let us start. So students, what is online transaction? Online transaction or online shopping is a form of electronic commerce where we can buy goods and even we can sell goods using the internet. Now, there are some requisites that we should have for online connection and shopping. This requisite is we should have active internet. When we are online, that is we are connected to internet, we can view the goods as well as services offered by the company, or I should say the seller. And students, there is one more benefit here, that whenever you buy that goods, you are not required to handle cash. You can pay for the goods online using a credit card, debit card, or even internet banking facility. But if you want to pay using cash, you can pay the cost of the good in the form of cash to the delivery boy who comes at your doorstep. And this method is known as cash on delivery. Now, we will understand, students, how online shopping is advantageous or useful for us. See here, a customer does not have to visit the stores. For example, if he is very busy, he cannot spare time to go to the shop, then what he can do? He can order that given material online and he need not waste time for going into the shop and coming back. So this is a very big advantage which we people are utilizing even nowadays when we are actually in a pandemic situation. So as we don't want to even go outside, we can order that good on internet and receive it at our home. Now, one more thing that is very important is sometimes it so happens that visiting a store becomes more expensive because the transportation which is required for going to the shop or the mall is actually expensive. You may book a Ola or you may take your own vehicle, but it at least has some cost associated with it. And when you purchase a good online, you don't have to go to that given shop. So you save your money required for transportation. So this is a very big benefit. One more thing that is very important is that if a product or a service is not available in your city, that is in the local market, you can avail the facility of online transaction and order that given goods from a different given city, that is from a website which works from a geographically far away place, and you get that product at your doorsteps. So it is a big facility, isn't it? Even if it is not available in your given town or city, you can use that facility of online transaction and bring the goods at your doorsteps. So these are the advantages of online shopping. Now we will see some popular transaction website, that is e-commerce websites according to your course curriculum. The first one is IRCTC. See, IRCTC is a website which is used for booking flight and train tickets. It is known as an online portal. An online portal is actually a website which helps to book flights and train tickets, and its name here is what? IRCTC. Normally a portal contains more than one websites within it. Second famous online transaction site is Flipkart. I think all of us have bought one or the other thing using Flipkart. It is an online shopping portal and we buy consumer products in Flipkart. That is, we order these products in Flipkart and the product we order is received at our doorsteps. Third is eBay. eBay is also an online portal and it also helps in buying and selling. So they are different web portals which are involved in the activity of e-commerce. Fourth is Redbus. You know, Redbus is an online portal for booking bus tickets. So these are the important online transaction websites, and please remember students, when the board asks some examples of popular online transactions website, you will have to give these given examples because they are in your book. You can add more examples from your end, but do give these examples because the marking scheme would be prepared using these given examples. So it is good enough to write these examples of online transaction websites. Now students, for online transactions, there are few requirements that we should have. Now let us see what are these requirements that we should have. First is a web browser. Obviously students, we have a requirement of a web browser. Why? Because we will surf the site, that online transaction site, using the web browser. So you can use any web browser, say Opera, Internet Explorer, Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome. So you can use any web browser. Second requirement is we should have an internet connection, that is, we should have an active internet connection. The third requirement is we should have a valid credit card or debit card or online banking support, that is net banking subscription So this is required because we have to pay money for the product that we are buying online. Some websites, as I said earlier, allows cash on delivery. That means you can give the money as cash to the individual who brings the product at your doorsteps. So user can pay the price of the product once they receive the product or service. So these are the requirements that we should have. That is, we should have cash if we want to go for cash on delivery while the product is being received. Let us see how Flipkart is used to buy different consumer products. See students, this example is in your book. So I have used this example of Flipkart. Now, what is Flipkart? As we all know, Flipkart is an online store where we can purchase variety of things, electronic goods, books, accessories, digicams, mobile phones and peripherals like printers and whatnot. We can buy a lot of things, a variety of things using Flipkart. And Flipkart offers multiple payment methods, like you can pay using credit card or debit card or net banking facility. There are vouchers which are given to you. You can use those vouchers. It is known as e-gift voucher, and you can also go for cash on delivery. Now, to work with Flipkart, there are some requirements. As we know that we have to have a web browser and an active internet connection. So, as we have a web browser, what we'll do is we'll open a given browser and type the URL www.flipkart.com and press enter. As we do so, what will happen is we will get a screen. This is the screen. This is the screen of Flipkart. Now, to buy something using Flipkart, we should have a credential. That is, we should have a login ID and password which needs to be created by us. So, how we create that login ID and password? We actually go to the option sign up. Here student, in this given screen, we have already created a login ID and password. So, we will have to only enter our mobile number or email ID and password. Normally, the login ID is our mobile number or email ID. So we understood students that if we do not have an already created account, that is login ID and password, we would go to the option sign up and create an account first. But if we already have an existing account, we'll enter our login ID. As I said, the login ID should be the mail ID or the mobile number, and then we'll give the password and we'll be allowed to enter into that given Flipkart screen and we'll start shopping. So this is the screen which you see when you enter the URL www.flipkart.com, and as you entered your login ID and password, you are directed to this given screen, and you see there are different categories of things from which we can shop. They are electronics, TV appliances, men, women, baby and kids, home and furniture, sports, books or more. So flights, many things are there. You see the catalogs, choose an item from the catalog and order that item. As you order that item, the item is delivered to you within a week or 10 days or sometimes 1 or 2 days even, and you pay for the item. You can pay, as I said, using credit card, debit card, net banking or even cash on delivery. So these are really a very big change in the way we shop. When we were small in our days, that is when I was small, in our days we would have not dreamt of such a given shopping. We always went to the physical market and bought things from that market. But the world has changed a lot, and this has really helped us in saving our time as well as energy and directing that energy and time to some fruitful work. So students, this is how Flipkart is used. Now we will students see one more given web portal, that is IRCTC, and we will understand how tickets are booked using IRCTC. So first of all, what is IRCTC? IRCTC's full form is Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation. It is an online portal and it is used for booking travel tickets. It may be flight ticket or train ticket. Nowadays even hotels are booked using it. We can book even meals. So different opportunities are given by this given web portal. We actually avail those opportunities. And how do we work with IRCTC? We need to open a browser, either Firefox or Chrome or any other browser, and we'll have to type the URL www.irctc.co.in. Now, as we type, the screen of IRCTC comes, but if we don't have a already created account, we need to create a login ID and password. To create that login ID and password, we will have to go to the option sign up and create the account first. If we already have an existing account, we enter our login ID and password through the sign in option and start booking tickets. Let us see students how we do it. So when we type www.irctc.co.in, this is the first screen which is shown to us. We enter our username and password in the area provided at the left top side, and we are then directed to the page from where we can book the ticket. Let us see that page from where we can book the ticket. So this is the page from where we can book the ticket. We will have to give the initial station, that is the station from where we will board the train, and the final destination will go and then fill the date, the class, and the ticket would be booked for us. We will pay for the ticket online, and the day when it comes for actually enjoying the journey, we will board the train and go to the destination. Note here students, when we fill the details are mandatory where an asterisk symbol is attached. So the fields which are mandatorily to be filled has a asterisk symbol associated with it, shown on it. So students, I think you have understood how IRCTC works, and before IRCTC you have understood how Flipkart works. They are online transaction sites, and all other sites work in the similar fashion. So CBSE has given you this given IRCTC as well as Flipkart as an example, but you can use this example and experiment with other given online transaction sites. So students, this is the end of our topic online transaction. But as I said, we will actually see two given topics today. One was online transaction and the second is maintaining safety measures in workplace. Students, there are few things which we should understand, that when we are in a workplace, we need to maintain safety measures. And how we would maintain that safety measures, we will see now. This is also a topic of your course curriculum. So let us go to the presentation of safety measure at workplace and see it. So I minimize this presentation and I go to the presentation maintaining workplace safety. So students, let us see. Students, every organization needs to follow a standard set of safety rules and procedures for its employees. And these rules must be stated and displayed clearly at important areas of the work premises. That is, if we have a place where most of the workers can see, we will tag these given safety rules at that place so that they can read and understand these safety rules. Now students, reading is not enough. All the employees must be given a demonstration as well as training to follow these safety rules. For example, if there is a fire that breaks out in that premises, in that office, so the employee should know how to use the fire extinguisher or how to evacuate that given workplace in minimum amount of time and lessen the loss of life. So we should always have a training or at least demonstration of how to follow these safety rules. Now students, let us understand the areas which should be always taken into consideration while we are talking of safety rules in a workplace. So what are those areas? We should first understand the importance of fire safety. Fire can break out at any given place. So how to deal with that situation? How to come out of that drastic situation? So this should be planned beforehand. This should be understood beforehand. There should be drillings or there should be even demonstration of how to do the control of that situation or how to overcome that situation. Second important thing is we should see that our employees don't fall or slip at the workplace because they can break their bones or at least get injured through those accidents of falling or sleeping in the workplace. Third is electrical safety. We all know that there can be vulnerabilities through electrical appliances. There can be short circuits. So we should understand this important point of safety rule and we should work accordingly so that such given electrical incidences of short circuits do not occur in our workplace. Fourth is, if even a situation occurs, how to give first aid to the employees, how to overcome the situation till that employee or till the employees don't reach the hospital, how to attend them. This is also a very big area. So students, the points of safety in a workplace are where we should actually consider are fire safety, falls and sleeps, electrical safety, use of first aid. And as I said, all employees must be given a demonstration of each of these type of safeties and also they should be given training to follow these safety rules. Let us see these points one by one. So first point is fire safety rules. So what we should do? We should have fire escape plans. That is, if even a fire occurs, how to come out of that building, how to evacuate the building. So we should have the plans already discussed. We should have fire escape plans and they must be installed at proper levels. That means we should have the fire extinguishers also. They should be also installed at the proper level. We should have doors at the proper place so that evacuation can be done without given much delay. So these are known as fire escape plans. Second is, we should conduct regular drills. That is, in between, say within 1 year or 2 years, we should have drills, so that if even a situation occurs, each employee should know that from which part he or she has to evacuate the building. Now, we should take care of maintaining the safety equipments, that is those fire extinguishers, smoke alarms. We should maintain them regularly. We should take care of their maintenance regularly. It should not be such that the fire extinguisher does not work when it is actually needed, or the smoke alarm does not alarm us when it is needed. So we should always check these safety equipments and see that they are working properly. So one more thing is, smoke alarms should be placed at proper interval so that the sound of that alarm should reach each and every individual or employee of that office. And very important thing is, we should try to keep our workplace in an area where smoking is not allowed. That is, our workplace should be a no smoking zone. So this is very important for keeping fire safety in our workplace. Let us see the second type of safety that we should be needing. The second safety point is falls and sleeps. So what should be done? Our workplace must be properly ventilated. Why we are saying properly ventilated? So if it is properly ventilated, then we can have light in the workplace, humidity would be less. So if there is a washroom, the washroom gets dried frequently, so a person may not sleep at the washroom. So if it is ventilated, airy, so the washroom would dry away properly. So workplace should be properly ventilated. Second is, floors must be clean and dry. So we should not keep our floors dirty, and we should keep them even dry. It should not have water around or say some slippery things around. It should be clean and dry. Third is, if there is a oil spill or there is a dust, means maybe workplace can be a factory, workplace can be a motor repairing shop, so oil spills can be there, dust can be there, but they should be kept immediately clean, or I should say they should be frequently cleaned. So these are very important for avoiding falls and sleeps in the workplace. So student, this was the second given option where we should consider for safety in the workplace. Let us see the third one. Third one is electrical safety rules. Now electrical safety rules, what are the points that should be seen? The first point is, the electrical equipment should have approval of the recognized organization. There are organizations like Indian Standard Institutes. So if we are getting a equipment and we are implementing that equipment, using that equipment, electrical equipment in our workplace, they should be of standard. They should have approval of that recognized organization. We should not use local made equipments. Local made equipments should not be used. Now, we should replace the electrical equipments which has damaged or which are dangerous, which are hazardous. We know that spark is coming out probably with that electrical equipment, so it should be immediately replaced. We should not wait even a second. we should go for its replacement as quickly as possible. Third point is, if we have some old or worked out or frayed switches or wires, they should be changed immediately. We should check for them and we should try to change them as quickly as possible. Now there are some devices, students, some given electrical equipments which you touch, you can see that they dissipate heat, they emanate heat, they become very hot. So these sort of equipment should be kept away, they should be not used, and even they should be replaced by new given equipments. And we should also take care of the outlets and the circuits, that they should not be overloaded. Maybe we are giving much load on a given switch which cannot take that load. Say we are giving 15 ampere load to a 5 ampere switch. So this should be avoided. This should not be done. Otherwise they create short circuits. Now we can try to avoid these given vulnerabilities, but then also there can be some given accidents in the workplace. So how to deal with the accident? How to give first aid to the persons or the employees who are there in the office and had got hurt? So let us first understand what first aid is. It is the immediate assistance provided to the injured person to save his life and minimize the health loss till he gets the proper medical aid or facility. So if in a workplace such a mishappening happens, so we should go for the first aid and we should try to save his life and lessen the health loss the person may have till the doctor reaches or till we shift that person to the hospital. This is known as first aid. Now every organization must have basic first aid kit, and these kits must have all the necessary items, and they should be regularly checked for those items, and they should check that the items kept on that first aid box has not expired. They should be within the expiry date. So these should be checked. Rules of first aid. See, if a person has been injured, we should assure that person to remain calm and not to panic. You know, if he panics, his health would retard more. Now, we should try to keep these persons or employees who are injured, we should try to keep them warm as they are under the shock. Now, we should not move them if they have an injury at the back or at neck. So if their neck is injured or their back is injured, we should not move them from one place to another. We should keep them at rest wherever they are. So what is the outcome? The outcome is a worker may face occupational hazards at workplace. Therefore, we must emphasize to undertake all sorts of preventive measures that are required in the workplace to avoid such hazards. This is all, students, for the topic maintenance of safety in the workplace. So we today completed two topics: online transactions and maintaining safety in the workplace. So students, we will conclude today's class here only. Thank you.